The Littlest Library by Poppy Alexander. This is a heartwarming literary themed novel about a woman who turns an ordinary red phone box into the littlest library in England and brings together a struggling town. Who doesn't love a book about books? Who doesn't love a book about books in England? Everyone. So we meet Jess Metcalf, and she has a very quiet and predictable life. But when her beloved grandmother passes away and Jess loses her job at her local library, her life is turned upside down. She determines she's going to pick up the pieces. She can't part with her grandmother's cherished books, so she packs them all up and moves to this tiny cottage in the English countryside. And to her surprise, she is the owner of an old red phone box that's on this property. So she fills it with her grandmother's collection of books and turns it into the littlest library in England. It's not long before the books that are borrowed from the villagers begin to work their literary magic to bring everybody together, including one of Jess's grumpy but good-looking neighbors. So maybe it's time for Jess to come out of her shell, let go of her old life, and make this village her home. This is a great book club read. It explores love, loss, grief, literature, new beginnings, and romance.
The Enigma of Room 622 by Joelle Dicker. This is from a Harper VA imprint that publishes translation from around the world. This was originally published in France in 2020. It's a major bestseller. It's about a novelist who arrives at a luxury resort in the Swiss Alps, only to realize there is no room 622. And he's there to recover from a breakup. He is also there to mourn his longtime publisher who's just passed and to begin a novel. So a lot is going on. And now, of course, there's a little mystery to move him along. It's always a good distraction when you have a mystery. And the crime that happened in that room is now overtaken his time. So that's why the room's not there. And the death was also tied to this man who was supposed to take over as president for the largest private bank in Switzerland. And the bank's board has other plans. And so there's this race against time. So you get to see these two different things playing out. The stories converge. There's a lot of good twists. And it's just a really addictive thriller. The author is from Switzerland originally, so he knows it well. And there's a timeless feel to this story, a very Sherlock Holmes-esque, or even, like the Anthony Horowitz's. I think you would enjoy this because you have some meta elements to it. And Lisa Gardner calls Joelle a bright new star of suspense.
I'm super excited to talk about The Tao of Dritz by the incredible Ari Salvatore. If you're a fan of the Forgotten Realms setting, and I don't know what fantasy fan isn't, you've probably heard of a character called Dritz Thewarden. This young drow elf has been a hero and an inspiration to fantasy readers for over 30 years. As one of the key features of his saga, Dritz he writes his thoughts in between chapters of each story, and now these thoughts, for the first time ever, have all been collected into one epic book. And these are the thoughts that sustained him as he fought against the childhood in Menzo Baranzan. This is a place ruled by chaos and cruelty. It's a place that worships Loth, the goddess of chaotic evil. So when you're not tainted by the same darkness that every other drow seems to inherit, you're going to have some thoughts that follow tradition, but go against your own conscience. And these inner thoughts kept Dritz on his own path, and they inspired generations of readers to follow their own beliefs too. I can't wait for this to come out. These thoughts have been a fan favorite for years, and to have them all collected in one book is more special than I can say in a minute. And the lessons that he learned from himself will resonate with old readers and new readers alike. And I can't wait for people to hear about this character in his own words. This comes out September 20th.